Welcome on in, everybody. Today, the New York Knicks take on the Detroit Pistons for game number 5. The Knicks have a chance to win the entire series tonight at Madison Square Garden. And guess who's going to be in attendance? Your boy right here is going to be at the Garden for the Knicks game. I am fired up right now. We're going to talk all things you need to know heading into tonight's game. All right? All things you need to know heading into tonight right here on Bleacher Report, also live on YouTube. We appreciate everybody tuning into the show, man. The vibes are so high right now if you're a Knicks fan because the Knicks lead the series 3-1, and you have every single reason to believe the Knicks can defend their home court tonight and get the job done against the Detroit Pistons. Everybody's talking about the one little microscopic play at the end of the game, which, of course, is the narrative around the NBA right now. The Knicks got bailed out by the refs. All right. That's what everyone's running with. That's what everybody's saying. I'm here to tell you guys, I don't care. First of all, how many times have the Knicks been on the other side of getting screwed over by the refs? Do you think me or any Knicks fan should be saying like, oh, we got away with it, we shouldn't have won that game? Give me a break. If you're a Knicks fan, you know what I'm talking about. And also, let me add this context to the game against the Pistons on Sunday. The entire game was consistent with not calling fouls. The entire game was physical. Nobody was calling fouls. The refs were letting things go on both sides of the court, might I add. And now everybody wants to complain. Now everybody wants to complain about the refs not getting it right. Come on, man. Give me a break. So now the Knicks have a chance to have their Garden faithful crowd behind them. I'll be one of them. I cannot wait to be there tonight, man. I cannot wait. And I think the Knicks have a good opportunity to close the deal. Now, if they don't win tonight, they got to go into Detroit where they've beat them twice. So I'm not too concerned if the Knicks don't win tonight going into Detroit to close it out in 6. But I feel like I went into this series with the expectation of the Knicks winning the series in 5 or 6 games. And I think there's no reason why we can't do that, right? I think you look at what the Knicks provide is an opportunity of resilience. Their resiliency has been fantastic, folks. Their resiliency has been flawless, all right? And I think that is something that we as Knicks fans need to realize because the Knicks, for example, in game 4, they were controlling that game, right? In the second quarter, the Knicks were up by 15, 16 points, and then the momentum swung all in favor of Detroit. Brunson's in the locker room injured. Cat's on the bench with 4 fouls. And the Pistons are up by 11 points with their Detroit crowd just flooded. All the momentum was on Detroit at one point in that game. And the Knicks could have just said to themselves, they stole the game. They have the momentum. All right, let's go back to the Garden with a series tied 2-2. But no, this is what this Knicks team is about. They do not let adversity make them give up. They got confidence in themselves. Jalen Brunson returns from the locker room, Willis Reed style. Puts the Knicks on his back, putting up double-digit points in the fourth quarter yet again. And Cat, that's why I love this team. The Knicks were down by 10 points with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they still won the basketball game. Same thing happened in game 1. The Knicks were down by 10 points or something like that in the fourth quarter, but they still figured out a way to win. The Knicks have been leveling up their play in the fourth quarter throughout this entire series. All right. And I think that's very important. Even in game 2, they had a chance to win that game. They had a surge late in the fourth quarter, but they just could not get over the hump. So I think that the context of the Knicks being able to show that they know how to penetrate the resilience trait shows me that they are tough-minded, they are prepared, and they know what's at stake. Now, I feel like, you watch the NBA playoffs, you see the Cavaliers just blow out the Miami Heat. You see these blowouts happen. It's not happening everywhere. Even the Magic is pressing up on the Celtics, right? You see that Celtic Magic game. The Magic are competitive in these games. And I think the Pistons are being as competitive as they are with the Knicks. They're a good basketball team. And I got nothing but respect for what the Detroit Pistons have accomplished this season. But we knew going into this series that the Knicks have the Pistons number in experience. They're more talented. They don't really have the Pistons have a secondary scorer next to Cade Cunningham. They got to rely on Tim Hardaway Jr., who's very inconsistent. When he's hot, he is a flamethrower, Hardaway. But when he's cold, he is absolutely can't hit a bucket. Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, they don't really have a secondary scorer. The Knicks have 4 guys you can say can score 20 points. Brunson gets 30 every single game. Cat can give you 30 when he wants to. OG when he's hot. Bridges as well. And then you got Josh Hart. So the Knicks are the more talented team, and they got to go out there tonight and prove it, man. They got to go out there tonight and prove it. I would love to see the bench show up tonight, more specifically. I think that the bench is the one thing about this Knicks team we have not seen in the playoffs. Outside of the Cameron Payne game, of course. I mean, he was the hero for the Knicks when he came out there and sparked that 21-0 run in game 1. But outside of that game, the bench has been pretty non-existent. Deuce McBride is still trying to find his rhythm in the NBA playoffs. Cameron Payne has been silent since then. Shamet hasn't even been getting on the court anymore. Mitchell Robinson, if he's like dealing with the stomach bug or something like that. So I would like to see the bench help out the starting 5. I do hate depending so much on Brunson, OG, McHale, Cat, and Hart in the starting 5 to do all the work. And I think that is what I'm a little concerned with about the longevity of the Knicks in the playoffs is how much are we going to be able to withstand that, especially against Boston if we make it there, which I don't want to think ahead. I want to finish the series officially before we talk about next round. But I think that you look at the matchups tonight, you look at what needs to happen. In my opinion, the Knicks have to get off to a fast start. If there is one thing we want to see tonight, it's having the Garden crowd involved for 48 minutes. And I'm going to be there, so I'm going to be losing my voice, of course. But we need the Knicks to get off to a fast start. Because if you remember, the Pistons kind of controlled the game throughout both games at the Garden. The Knicks went on a late surge in the fourth quarter to steal that win. In game 2, the Pistons, give them credit, they came in that game and controlled. They had the lead the entire game. The crowd wasn't really involved. So I'm hopeful that the Knicks can punch early and have a lead and control it throughout the game and feed off the Garden crowd. Play fast, play in transition, and I think defensively is going to be important on Cade Cunningham because Cade is someone that can get going and play that villain role. But another thing is we have to realize that there's somebody on this Detroit Pistons roster that's going to go off. Whether it's Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, it's one of those 3 most likely that just gets hot. And let's just hope that, it's one of them and not all 3 of them or 2 of them, because that's what the Pistons are relying on. They need a Malik Beasley just get hot. They need a Hardaway to get hot. They need Tobias to stop shooting from downtown and hitting it. I think that's what it comes down to. Jalen Duren has been a pretty good player for them as well in the playoffs, but I'm looking at Jalen Brunson right now, and I don't think people are I don't think people understand what Jalen Brunson has done in the playoffs this year. And you guys remember me hyping up Jalen Brunson entering the playoffs about what he did last year? He is matching this year, even exceeding what he did last year. Jalen Brunson is the first player since Michael Jordan to put up 4 straight 30-point games in the playoffs. Michael Jordan. Last year, JB did the same thing first time since Michael Jordan. And I feel like Jalen Brunson's playoff run, and I'm so tired of people running with the false narrative that Jalen Brunson is a foul merchant. Are you kidding me? The people that don't give JB the credit, and listen, JB has embodied the villain role, and I love it, right? The Detroit Pistons fans hate Brunson. They're booing him. They're chanting derogatory things at him. And listen, that's what happens when you're a really good basketball player. The opposing teams are going to hate you. They're going to root against you. They're going to boo you. But what Pistons fans don't realize is that Jalen Brunson does not rely on the free throw line to get to his points. Everyone's like, oh, Brunson just foul baits. He's a free throw merchant. Newsflash, Jalen Brunson dropped 32 points, and he went to the free throw line twice. Okay, so enough of that false narrative that we're seeing these NBA fans push, that JB relies on all of his points from the free throw line. That is a false narrative. I shout out to Nick's Muse on X because he put out a stat that Jalen Brunson has the same exact amount of points as Cade Cunningham in this series if you remove free throws and you add free throws to Cade Cunningham. That's ridiculous. Jalen Brunson has just the same amount of points, taking away his free throw points, as Cade Cunningham does from free throws and field goals combined. So that is a false narrative. Now, does Jalen Brunson know how to draw a foul? Yes, he does. I'm not going to say he doesn't. Does he get away with certain things in terms of foul baiting and Is it good for the game of basketball? It's what today's league has become. Okay, but I don't like when people take away Brunson's greatness, especially in the fourth quarter. The guy is putting up like averaging 12 points per game in the fourth quarter. He's the clutch player of the year front runner for a reason, and it's exciting. And the fact that Cat matched JB in the fourth quarter, that is when this Knicks team is going to be really difficult to beat. If you got Cat and Brunson hitting shots like that late in the fourth quarter, watch out, because we can do something special, bro. And I mean that. And I really do mean that. So I think what the momentum needs to be and the focus needs to be tonight is just get the job done, man. One game at a time. You look at what the box score looked like last game, and I want this to improve. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges offensively, they need to have a better game. I can't rely on OG and Mikal. You know, they both had 8 points. I'm not going to complain. It was a low-scoring, defensive, gritty, classic 90s basketball game. So not everybody was going to get your 15 to 20 points in that one. But I want to see an adjustment made. I want to see the Knicks get flowing on offense. I feel like this could be the game where the Knicks finally break out and penetrate that Detroit basketball team's defense. Because to give the Pistons credit, they have done a tremendous job defensively against the Knicks. You look at all the games in the series. In the first game, the Knicks dropped 123 points. That was because in the fourth quarter, they just exploded. In game 2, they limited the Knicks to 94 points. In game 3, 118 points. Last game, 94 points. So the Pistons have limited the Knicks offense, and the Knicks have, on paper, one of, if not the best offenses in the league. And you look at the stats, they backs it up. So I'm looking at the offense in this game, and I want to see the ball move. I want to see everything fly. I want to see Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby flowing through the offense, Josh Hart hitting shots, Cat, Brunson. Like, we've seen so many games this year in the regular season when the offense clicks and every Knicks fan's looking at each other just like, you guys see the ball movement? This is crazy. I mean, I remember sitting back watching my Knicks play this year and just in awe of the way they're moving, the way the off-ball movement is, being unselfish with the ball, the shot making. And we haven't seen that yet in this series. And I think tonight could be that game because now the Knicks have 4 games of experience of this defense. And the more you get deeper into these series, the more you understand teams' tendencies. Now, Jalen Brunson understands how they're defending him. You know that Thompson's going to be guarding him. You know they're going to put Schroeder on him laterally, all those things. You know what they're going to do to Cat. Now they have an understanding. They have an idea of the tendencies of the Pistons defensively. So I really hope that this Knicks team, from a coaching standpoint, knows how to attack the defense of the Detroit Pistons because they've done a great job. They really have. Tobias Harris is a good on-ball defender. Thompson is a great defender. Cade Cunningham can be when he wants to. Jalen Duren is freakishly athletic down there. So I think that having the 4 games of experience is going to give the Knicks the edge here. And the same thing goes for the Pistons. The Pistons now know how the Knicks are defending them. So, you know, you got to look at it from both sides. But that's it from the offense. Now, from the Knicks defensively, you got to just do everything you can to keep OG as a primary on-ball defender on Cade Cunningham. Because what the Pistons have done a great job of after game 1 is getting a high screen on OG while he's defending Cade to get Brunson on him or Hart on Cade or even Bridges. And then he attacks. So I think they got to make the adjustment. When OG has a screen coming, don't go underneath, right? Like, try to stay up on Cade. Try not to get caught on the screen where you have to switch. I think that's important. You got to blitz Cade Cunningham. Use your physicality, and I think the physicality in last game is going to get leveled up. They may call the game a little bit tighter tonight, knowing that the NBA admitted that they missed that call on Tim Hardaway shot of Josh Hart, of course. Who knows if the refs are going to be on our side tonight? I could see the NBA say, you know what? We got to give the Detroit Pistons the better whistle tonight because of that blown call. I don't know. I hope that's not the case, but that's the NBA. That's the NBA. So I think that Knicks fans are going to represent the night at the Garden, and I think that the crowd and the atmosphere at MSG is going to be off the charts. And talking about Karl-Anthony Towns real quick, because I am still buzzing from those shots he hit in game 4. I know Knicks fans are still to this day. The shot that he hit, fading out of bounds baseline, the Knicks are down by 4 points with a minute or 2 to go. Without him hitting that shot, we missed the game. Because he could have missed it, Pistons could have scored, and then we have a 6-point deficit. The fact that Cat hit that shot, and then the Pistons missed and then the next possession, Cat hits that bomb to take the lead. That was Karl-Anthony Towns' Knick moment, because now he's officially in Knicks fans' hearts. Because I've said multiple times, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, you have to have a playoff moment in order to become a real Knick. Jalen Brunson had his playoff moments last year. He's proven it in the clutch, so he's a Knick. For example, Knicks fans haven't really, when Julius Randle was here, for example, Knicks fans didn't all together embody him as a Knick. Why? He never stepped up in the postseason. Dante DiVincenzo, for example, beloved Knick in 1 year because of his playoff performance last year. The playoffs is when you establish yourself as a real Knick. Are you able to level up your game? And now we're seeing Cat have that moment, bro. And Karl-Anthony Towns doing that, we all know, okay, that trade is worth it. And you got to give the Minnesota Timberwolves credit. I think it's a win-win trade. The Timberwolves are benefiting of Dante and Randall, and they're up 3-1 on the Lakers. The Knicks are up 3-1 right now, so they're both benefiting. How awesome would it be if they matched up in the NBA Finals? I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but give me a break. It'll be a cool scenario. And I think that the playoff shot that Cat hit, it was felt in the community of Knicks fans worldwide, bro. Not just in the city of New York. Knicks fans represent globally, all right? And when Cat hit that bomb from 5 feet beyond the arc to give the Knicks the lead, that was one of those special moments that will be remembered by Knicks fans forever, especially if we go deep in the playoffs. And I think that could really propel Karl-Anthony Towns' confidence now. Because if they're playing physical ball on Cat and they're not really allowing him to go to the rim and they're tough on him, he can rely on those three-point shots a little bit. He just has that crazy flick of the wrist, and he just cashes that thing. One of the greatest shooters we've ever seen in NBA history at that position. So the Knicks got to maximize that. So we know what to expect from Jalen. We know what to expect from Cat, but we don't know what to expect from OG and Mikal. Right? I think OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges have an opportunity as well to kind of prove who they are tonight. And I'm excited because offensively, they both are coming off games. They need one of those two needs to step up. I don't think we can rely on both of them. Now, the good news is, even when they're struggling offensively, what makes them both great basketball players is their defense. Mikal Bridges, as bad as he was offensively, he hit 2 tremendous shots. And I want to give Mikal Bridges his love right here. I want to give him his flowers because the shots that Mikal Bridges hit in the fourth quarter, in the corner, fading out of bounds with a hand in his face, those were tough shots, and that was a big reason why the Knicks were able to get back in that game in the first place, right? So Bridges deserves love, but let's see some shots hitting early. Let's not rely on 2 shots that we're talking about. Let's see a full game. Can we see the Mikal Bridges breakout game? Can we see Bridges put up 20, 25 points, right? How about you, OG? We know what you're capable of. I feel like this could be the game where they feed off the Garden crowd. Cat had his playoff moment. We're waiting for Mikal Bridges' playoff moment. Josh Hart's had multiple, right? OG Anunoby kind of had his last year when he dunked in the first round against the Sixers. That was his moment. But we want to see more. My X factor for tonight, the guy I'm looking at the most to have a good game that I think could be the reason why we propel past Detroit tonight is Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride has been silent in the NBA playoffs. 8 points last game, I believe. We need more, Deuce. We've seen you do it in the playoffs last year. We've seen you do it all year in the regular season. When you get in the game, he needs to be the spark plug because when Deuce is hot off the bench, that adds so much more pressure to Detroit. Because when he's hitting his shots, if he's playing in a rhythm, playing in confidence, bro, that's dangerous. So I'm looking at Deuce McBride, and another X factor is the lineup of Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. That has been a big positive so far this season, right? I think the Knicks have shown that you look at what the Knicks can do with Cat and Robinson on the court together. The potential's through the roof. It is through the roof when you have both of those Goliaths on the court together. So I hope the Knicks rely on that a little bit more. Talking to you, Tom Thibodeau, put them both on the court together and watch them work. And we're seeing they don't have the size. Isaiah Stewart is still banged up. And without him, they lack front court depth. So the Knicks got to take advantage of that. and put Robinson and Cat on the court together. And what you're seeing when they're on the court together, it's something beautiful, right? You have Mitchell Robinson that can just stay down low offensively, and then you have Cat spacing the floor. You have Deuce. It's usually in the second quarter when we're seeing that. And to start off the second quarter, Brunson's on the bench. You got Mitch and Cat on the court with Deuce and Campaign, and one of Mikal or OG is usually the lineup. I do like that. I really, really do. And I'm hopeful that the Knicks can utilize that matchup. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it would feel good if we can just blow out the Pistons. But I'm not going to sit here and expect that, man, because the Pistons have been playing the Knicks tough all game. I know that it's been tight, but this is the opportunity of a lifetime right now. Finishing this series out in 5 would be massive. We do not want to get these guys more wear and tear on their bodies because we need to be mentally and physically prepared for the next round. So let's take care of business tonight. Come on, Knicks fans. Can I get a roll call? I'm hyped up right now. The Knicks are going to have the whole NBA world watching tonight at the world's most famous arena. And you know that the Knicks fans are going to be crazy on the streets in Manhattan if we pull off the win. I'm going to be live from Madison Square Garden right here on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, because right when the Knicks win the game tonight, and I'm manifesting when they win, I'll be live reacting from Madison Square Garden. So you guys make sure you check me out there. But going back into what to expect in tonight's game in terms of matchups, in terms of what to expect from the Detroit Pistons side of things, they're angry. The Pistons are pissed off. And I understand why. They're going to play. They got everything to lose today, too. This is their season. This is their entire season on the line tonight. So they're going to play desperate. They're going to press. So I think the Knicks got to let them play into that, right? The Pistons are going to play. And let's also not forget this, too, in last game. Everyone's complaining like, oh, the Knicks won because of a foul call, a non-foul call, that is. If you're the Pistons, stop complaining. Cade Cunningham missed the game-winning shot, and you turned the ball over 19 times. Maybe there's a world where you didn't deserve to win that game. So if I'm the Pistons, I'd shut my mouth and stop complaining about the refs and focus on protecting the ball, not turning it over, and Cade Cunningham being clutch and hitting the game-winning shot. Because if Cade cashed that shot, you would have won the game. You would have won the game. But he didn't. So I think Cade Cunningham has something to prove after missing the game-winning shot. I think that JB, the coach of the Pistons, have something to prove. Obviously, Detroit understands that their season's on the line, and they got to win 3 in a row to advance to the next round. The Knicks has got to win 1 of the next 3 games. And if the Knicks lose 3 in a row and somehow lose the series, then we have bigger concerns on our hands. And I don't expect that to happen whatsoever. So the Pistons are going to play like their head's on fire. I think that they're going to try to play fast. I think they're going to try to play as physical as they ever played the series. And I think the key there is defending the 3-point arc. You can't let a guy like Malik Beasley and Tobias and Tim Hardaway to get hot from 3, because that is going to hurt us the most. If you let those guys get hurt, if you let those guys get hot, that's going to be a dagger in the momentum of the Knicks. So can we match their intensity and even bring it up a notch? Can we get those offensive rebounds? Can we push the ball in transition? Can we play tough? Can we play hard? Can we fight for every loose ball? Show them what Knicks playoff basketball is all about. Because these Detroit Pistons fans, they're the ones that are like, oh, this is our brand of basketball. Detroit basketball is physical, tough. And then they cry over a foul. So let's show them what real Knicks playoff basketball is, the real toughness, and bring it back to the 90s. Because that's what this Knicks team is all about. And I'm really excited about it, bro. And listen, the Detroit Pistons fan base, I understand they're pissed off. I know the Detroit organization's pissed off. So let's let them feed into that. Let's take advantage of their emotions and just completely not even give them a chance in this game, bro. Put the foot on the gas and don't take it off. And I hope that this Knicks team does not go into this season. I hope that the Knicks don't go into this game tonight with the expectation that it's going to be easy or anything, because this is not going to be an easy game. I really don't. The Pistons are going to play like their season depends on it, because it does. And the Knicks have a cushion. So I really hope that the Knicks have a proper game plan. And I think the main thing the Knicks got to do is remain focused mentally. They cannot let the moment get to them. because I really hope they understand that going back to Detroit for a game 6, no one wants that to happen. No one wants to be stressed out all over again for a game 6. I remember last year, the Knicks, I believe, lost game 5 at the Garden and then won it in 6 in Philadelphia. Were they up 3-1? I think they were, yeah. I believe the Knicks were up 3-1 last year, and then they lost game 5 at the Garden. And then they closed the series out in 6 in Philadelphia. So we don't want to go to game 6 in Detroit. Let's stay home in New York so we can get prepared for Boston. I do think that the Knicks are not going to have the refs on their side. I really don't. And that's okay, bro. We got the benefit of the doubt last game. If we got to verse the Pistons and the refs tonight, bring it on. And that's what the mentality should be of the Knicks players. And I'm sure they're going to be aware of that. So they just got to play smart basketball. Don't press. Don't force. Stay within yourself and go after all the things that matters the most, which is the Knicks brand of ball. All right? I'm fired up right now. I'm actually going to hop on the LIRR right now to head into the Garden, head into New York City. I'm going to be there with my dad. And we got great seats, man. We got great seats. We're in the front row of the 200 section. So we're not on court level, but we're in the front row of the 200s, which is really good seats for us. So we're going to be excited. We're going to be there. I probably won't be showed on the screen because we're not in the court level. But it's going to be exciting, man. I got Knicks in 5. I'm going to be live from Madison Square Garden after the game. Win or lose, I'm going to be live, man. Win or lose, I'll be live from the Garden. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell. And also want to remind everybody that we're live on Bleacher Report right now. And if anybody's watching this live on YouTube, it would mean a lot to me if you can click the link I just put in the live chat and come over to Bleacher Report, man. That's where the real fun is. I'm live on Bleacher Report Tuesdays and Thursdays. They do a tremendous job over here on the Bleacher Report app. If you guys can come over to Bleacher Report, download the app, make an account, and follow me on Bleacher Report. I have my whole profile over here. It would mean a lot, man. Come over here. This is where the party is. They have a Knicks daily show on Bleacher Report, Monday through Friday. Knicks Fan TV, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. CP the Franchise, the legend himself. And then you got me, Richie Melora, Knicks Media, live Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we'd appreciate if you guys can come over and support on Bleacher Report. I got Knicks in 5, all right? I predicted Knicks in 5, the start of the series, and I'm going to hold on to that expectation, hold on to that prediction right here, right now, that the New York Knicks will win this series in 5. Let's get into business. I'm looking at a Jalen Brunson 30-piece for the 5th straight game. I'm looking at big Karl-Anthony Towns bouncing right back into the clutch shots late in the 4th quarter. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, I'm looking at you. What are you going to do for me offensively? And Josh Hart, the spark plug, the glue, the unsung hero of this entire Knicks team. He needs to be the one to set the tone, right? If there was a tone setter on this Knicks roster, it is Josh Hart. He is the guy that keeps the engine rolling. I absolutely love everything about Josh Hart, all right? I do. Now, what jersey should I wear tonight? I got Josh Hart's jersey. I got Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride. I don't know. I got to figure out what jersey to wear tonight, but that's the least of my worries. I'm excited about it, man. I really, really am. If you're a Knicks fan and you're tuning in tonight, just know that this is what the NBA is all about. Moments like this, being up 3-1 in a series, an opportunity to close it out on your home floor, to advance to round number 2. Big shout out to Knicks fans, bro. We've been through the ringer and back, and appreciate these moments. Be grateful that we have an opportunity to watch our Knicks basketball team in these moments. Let's not forget the misery that we came from. The misery, bro. For years, 7 years straight of being a clown organization. We're back in relevancy. We're back in playoff competition, and the Knicks have a chance to go to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the 3rd year in a row with a simple victory tonight. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Much love to everybody in the chat. Let's go Knicks. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's get into it. I will see you guys next time. A Deuce jersey. That'll be interesting. Love you guys so much. Peace. You guys want me to wear a Deuce jersey? Shout out to everybody tuning into the YouTube live stream, by the way. Just ended the show on Bleacher Report. I just want to quickly say I love you guys. All the support that you guys show here on Knicks Media, I take it seriously, and I really do appreciate you guys more than you know. I got to run. Much love to Knicks Nation in the chat. I will see you in MSG. Peace.